Hello everyone, I've got a new video for you. I haven't made a video in a while. My designers have been taking beautiful photos for me, but I have a new designer and she sent me the samples in, and I'd like to introduce Janae Todd, who is doing some work for me now. I will have a link to her blog, and she did some beautiful samples up for me. And she was quite excited to be a new designer for me, and I was quite excited to have her. So she introduced a new line. They're made by Marianne Design, and they are called Craftables. And Craftables are made to make crafty things, is kind of, I think, what Marianne is doing. So the first die that we have here with the Craftables line is CR1201, and it is the circular frame and makes a dimensional flower. And what Janae made with this is she made this lovely card here with the ribbon and lace, but here is the flower used. Also notice this rosette. That's from my collection I sell. It was a memory box die, and I believe it's number 98121 if you're interested in that. It's not in this collection, but if you need one, I've had it out before and I have some left. And you can see kind of how, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here on this flower. And I've got a new camera, people, so give me some feedback what you think, if it was better than the old one. I hope so. It's been really hard for me to learn how to use it. But you can see right here is the flower that is part of that collection. And then I see that Janae also wanted to show the circle part of the die, and she made, isn't this cute? This is for guess who? Yes, my little bud. My big bud. But she made this treat bag, and she put a little dog biscuit in there, and Bud wants this so bad, but I told him he had to wait to the video. And you can kind of see how she used it as a topper. And what she wrote about these cards, I'd like to read to you. Let's see, with the goodie bag, she used the frame from the same collection, and she folded it in half and used it as a topper. Again, she cut the two pieces using the two larger dies of the flower and layered them to match a Valentine card. And she thought it would be a good idea to put candy inside of here to make a Valentine gift, but of course she made this for my bud. So I think that's a really cute idea to use that as a topper, something I wouldn't have thought of. And you can see the two layers of the different flower there. Let me see if I can, oops, I'm learning, guys. Got to bear with me a little bit for this video. And there's a close-up of how beautiful that is. Okay, now we're going to go over to the next one here. This is Craftables number CR1202, and it's a rectangular frame with a different kind of flower in there. And this one, for this card, Janae made this one right here, and she said she really liked this frame, so she let it stand alone for this little card. I'm gonna kind of try to move in a little bit there for you so you can kind of see. She said, I cut the paper out of the frame out of pink paper and used the inside of the die to lightly trace around my image so that it would fit on the frame. She used an extra flower she made for us with this, and it's this lovely die right here, and you can kind of see she made the flower. And with that flower, she says that she knows in nature flowers don't have even number of petals, but in her fantasy card making world some of them do, and she's put grin. I thought this made an interesting little flower. I took the 3 dies from the set and cut one of each. I then cut towards the middle and overlapped 1 petal, creating the 4. I did the same with the middle and the small pieces and then glued them together into each other. Then she took her piercer and pierced a hole to add the stamen. So she kind of made a cut and overlapped to create the dimension to make it stick up. and that's kind of cool. I think that's a pretty flower that she made with that. And I'm going to go back to die number 1. She also made me a dimensional flower with that one too. And you can kind of see with that one, I think she just layered them and kind of poofed them like this and then made that dimensional flower. This was with the CR1201 die. I forgot to show you that. Okay. The next one we have is CR1203, and this is the square frame, and you can kind of see how that square with another flower, and she made for this card. This is adorable. This little honeybee card and this little extra flower right here. I'm just going to put the extra flower there to kind of show it off. And I'm going to really go in, you can see the frame. I'm going to really circle in here and I'm going to show you the edges of that frame and how it looks like a lace doily, that flower up close. I'll put these flowers together kind of so you can compare them. But I want to get in on these flowers right there. And I'm going to read to you what she wrote about these. She said, for this card, she once again used the flower dies to make a dimensional flower. She cut 3 pieces using the largest of the 3 dies and lightly misted them with water and scrunched them up. When they had dried, I glued the 3 pieces one inside the other, careful not to unscrunch the flowers too much. For the smaller flowers on the side, I used 2 of the middle pieces and 1 of the smallest. I also misted them with water, scrunched them up, and then glued them inside each other when dry. The leaves are cut from a Sizzix die, but they could easily be hand cut. I folded each to give dimension. The little image is simply a graphics by Happily Designs that I cut out using the frame, and I am sending an extra flower that I made using the small dies, the pink flower. I layered 2 of the larger pieces, 2 of the middle dies, and the small piece together. And you can kind of see scrunching them makes that, it's really a beautiful effect on a card. And you can see she mailed this to me in a box and it came very nicely. So it does survive shipping nice and well. And what a beautiful card that is. And then I want to get to the last one right here. It's the oval, CR1204. And this one has another flower and another border. And Janae, she made this lovely card right here with it. And I'm gonna kind of go out, oops, a little out, so you can kind of see it in the full effect here. And she wrote, for this one, she used the small and middle flower die only to create the larger flower. She cut between the petals of the medium size down and pieced them together to make on the small one. She threaded the stamen through the middle and glued it in place. Then to hide the hole a little more, she placed individual pearls around the hole. For the 2 smaller flowers, she cut the same shaped die and then cut it in half. She rolled each of them and glued it to itself, forming a bell shape. She then threaded the stamen through the holes. The leaves are from a cherry lin die that I bought from you. I believe that's Fancy Full Flourish, and I believe that's B117. And then I'm gonna just really kind of go in deep, way up close as I can, and show you that flower. So you can see what she was talking about is she added those pearls to hide the hole. Again, she cut and overlapped to give that cupping effect to a flower. She did that with these smaller ones. There's the Fancy Full Flourish die. And then of course here is the beautiful die lace itself. So the thing with these flowers is you really want to get them to create the dimensional flowers and get a lace doily to boot with it. It's a nice line that Marianne's coming out with. They call them the Craftables because they're meant to be crafty. And I look forward to bringing you more of these. More are on the way. And I want to thank Janae for making her debut with us. And I hope you enjoy the products in the video. Until I make a next one, take care. Let me ask all of you what you thought about the new camera. Do you like it better or worse? And we'll go from there. And I hope you're all having a good winter. We're doing okay. Thank you for all your thoughts for my dad and Buddy. Buddy's doing well. He's still limping from that surgery way back last year, but you know, he's almost 11 now, and he's happy, and that's what we go with. He's a happy dog. And Dad's prognosis for getting better isn't well. As far as his mental status, he's very confused. Again, though, he's pretty happy too. He's in a wonderful facility with wonderful people taking care of him. So in all of those things, we are blessed. Thank you, everyone, for all you've done. Thank you to those who have sent my dad little gifts and cards. He appreciates that. He loves every single one of them, and he shows all his little friends and the nurses, so your talents do not go wasted. Thank you, everyone. Take care, and Happy New Year. Even though we're in towards the end of the month, I'd like to wish you all a happy and good year in 2012. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.